The RegisterPatient SaaS model PHR is fully HIPAA compliant and designed to meet high-tech, meaningful use requirements. Our PHR features all of the required and preferred features described in the Carepass Challenge. In either the web-based PHR or native Android app, the patient adds current medications by simply clicking on the Click to Add button.
To add a medication to the patient's web-based PHR, the patient first chooses My Information, then the Medications tab, and then at the bottom of their medications list, they click Add Medication. Type in the name of the medication, which is populated by the HHS database, the dosage, the route, how often, and then click Save. The medication now appears at the bottom of the medications list. To add a medication that they're no longer taking to their medications history section, they can choose the History Archive button next to the medication. The medication now appears in the Medications History tab. To find any additional information on any medications, they can click the Medline Plus Info icon, which brings them to that medications page.
In either the web PHR or the Android app, patients simply click the Good RX icon next to each medication and are instantly presented with options to lower the cost of their medications. Again, from either the web or Android version, patients can create their own reminders for each of their meds by choosing the preferences for frequency and media type. They can choose email, text, voice, or any combination of reminder media.
Should a patient need to set their own reminders to take medications, they can do so from their PHR. They can choose personal reminders, click Add Personal Reminder, choose the reminder type, frequency, when they want to start, reminder message. If it's a reminder about medications, put in the medication, and click Save.
Both web and Android apps offer the ability for authorized providers and caregivers to set reminders for the patient with the same user interface, features, and options. Additionally, the provider can use these reminders to also request patient confirmation of compliance or input of vital signs such as body temperature, blood pressure, and pulse rate.
Providers can also set notifications for their patients to take medications. They do so by clicking Patient List, choosing the patient, clicking the drop-down, and selecting Push Reminder. They can select who the reminder is from within the practice, the frequency, the text. They can also request vital signs be returned and indicate which medication. Once the reminder is sent, the patient will receive reminders based on the reminder preferences within their PHR. To monitor patient compliance, the provider can click Patient Reminders, go to the appropriate patient, click the Reminders tab, and see the reminder report.
The reminders in our applications are bidirectional. Whether the patient receives their reminder on their Android app, as a text, an email, or even an automated phone call, the option to reply with compliance confirmation or vital signs input is always available. An authorized provider can access the patient's PHR via any web-enabled device in order to view a complete report of the patient's medication reminder and compliance history. These reports can be easily exported, printed, or attached to the patient's EMR chart. To share medication information with a provider, the patient searches for their provider on their preferred provider list that they have entered into their PHR. Once a preferred provider is added, the patient has the option to share any portion of their PHR with that provider, including medication history. The patient has complete control over the privacy of their personal health information. They may also choose to grant continuous access or even one-time only access to a provider or caregiver.
Should a patient need to share the information about the medications they are taking with their healthcare provider, they can do so in their PHR. Click My Healthcare Providers, click Add Healthcare Provider, choose their healthcare provider from the list. Once the provider is added to their list, they can choose Quick Share, choose the information they would like to share with the provider, and then click Share PHI. When the provider needs to view the medications list, they choose Patient Registrations, Shared Patients PHI, and then they can view by clicking the View button.
Once the patient shares their PHR with their provider, the provider will be able to see and access the patient's PHR through their admin dashboard. The provider may then download the patient's information in PDF format or import it into a ZMR.